Oh my goodness, sweet. Okay, we on. So what the heck is this video about? Well, it's about the subconscious. Now, here's part of what in this video, we're gonna kind of explore part of what I have learned that is helping me to overcome my issues. So, well, who's the video for? This video is for Christian men who have a lack of self-control and want to take control of their life, who want a deeper understanding and more knowledge about, okay, how do I actually mature and become better? Right now, this video is not for anyone who wants to watch this video as entertainment. This is education. This is not entertainment. Okay, and this video is not for people who do not want to make themselves better. This is for the Christian man who finds himself wondering why he keeps saying that thing or doing that thing when he doesn't want to say that thing or do that thing. And you're like, why the heck am I doing this? I want to stop. This is for you. Right? What if what you were told all your life about the subconscious is kind of wrong, especially in the church? Now, I don't know what church you went to, but at least where I grew up from. And we're going to explore what it is, what the subconscious is, and how you can actually use it. Now, this is just a one-part video that is going to help a little bit kind of explore what the subconscious is, but there's so many more videos that are coming down the line. Right? Now, imagine going from the guy who eats the whole tub of ice cream, like the whole thing, right, in one sitting, to not eating any ice cream for months at a time. Now, I accidentally drank a strawberry shake from In-N-Out like 2 weeks ago, right? Completely just forgot about it, right? But this is exactly what I'm able to do because I'm continually gaining a deeper understanding of the subconscious and how it works. And so I'm able to go from that guy who sat on the couch or in bed and ate the whole entire tub of, whatever moose tracks or bunny tracks, right? I like those a lot. To now the guy who cannot eat ice cream for months at a time. But if I want to, I can, and it's not like I fall back into eating it all the time, or I eat a bunch. I can eat a little bit. Now, watching this video is not going to change your life overnight, but it is a start to the change. Now just think, right, how will it make you feel to not get angry when someone criticizes you? Or when your wife is surprised that you haven't watched Netflix for a week? Or how awesome would it be when your friends say you look super great when you've been consistently working out? Those are some things that you can get by understanding the subconscious and using these principles, biblical principles, understanding it, gaining the wisdom and skill to use your subconscious. Pardon the dog barking in the background. And also my cough. I'm a bit under the weather, but this video must get out there. Okay? So why am I making this video? I'm making this video because it is time for the men of the church to start having self-control and stop staying stagnant in their health and fitness. That's what I really, really care about and push for the church. To stop being where, oh, let's just focus on the spiritual, but we forget about our health and fitness because God cares about our health and our fitness. And knowing how the subconscious works. So making this video for helping you to understand how the subconscious works and how we can use it. And I want to help Christian men to become better followers of Christ. And we can do this by understanding our subconscious and using our subconscious to help us do our calling, our gifts, or whatever we were meant to do here on planet Earth. Now, I know I'm saying a lot right now, and you're like, come on, just get into it. I'm going to get into it. Saying all this stuff is a preface to understand what's going to happen and where I'm going with this is important, right? You might die tomorrow. You might die next week. You might not die for 70 years. But if you don't take action now, then you'll end up dying without really living. Now, you might be wondering, why the heck do I keep looking off to the side? That's because I'm using the webcam on my phone, so I get better quality image than my computer. And I'm reading off of a sort of bullet-pointed script that I wrote, okay? I'm going to be upfront, honest, transparent. That's what I'm doing so I can give some good value and not go off on crazy tangents all the time, even though I still might sometimes. So now we're actually going to get into the meat of it. Okay, now we're here. Now you're going to learn. Right? And we're going to do that by asking questions. The first question is, why is it important to understand the functions of the subconscious mind in relation to emotions? Right? Well, first, your subconscious mind is where emotional patterns are stored. That means your reactions often happen before you even realize it. So, whenever little things happen to us throughout the day, right? Somebody says something nice to us or says something mean to us, right? That gets stored in our mind. And that's all those things are being stored in our mind since we've been little kids. Even when we were babies in the womb, those things are being stored as memories inside of our mind. And they start to create patterns. And especially when it gets to the point where someone does something negative. So let's say somebody criticized you in a really mean way and it was bad. Well, that made you upset. Well, now that might make it so that that pattern is stored in a way where if someone gives you even helpful criticism, constructive criticism, you might still get that like heart beating, like, red face, like you might still get angry, even though it's constructive criticism because it has been stored as a negative event. Right. Second, when you understand those patterns, those emotional patterns, you can stop being a slave to the emotions and you can start responding with self control and you can start taking what somebody says, thinking about it first instead of just responding with anger. Think about it and be like, oh, wait, okay, and respond in a positive way. Okay, number two, why does the subconscious influence? This is the second question. Why does the subconscious influence habits and routines in our daily lives, right? How does it do this? Right, the first thing is that the subconscious mind automates repeated actions. So things that you do over and over and over again. Think about when you're driving to work or driving back home from work. Can you remember like every little thing you saw, or are you constantly thinking, "Oh man, I need to turn left on Alessandro"? Right? Look, you don't think that. By the way, I live in Riverside, California. So if you want to get together, make some things happen in the kingdom of God, and you want to be used as a servant, you want to get together and unite together, then let's go. Back to it. So you don't really think about those things when you're driving, right? When you're driving, that's called a cognitive map. Your subconscious is taking you to work or back from work home without you having to consciously sit there and think about it the whole entire time. So repeated actions. If whenever you get off work, you're really hungry and there's a great, little restaurant that's on the way home, you might stop there. And then it becomes a repeated pattern. So you keep doing it even if you don't want to do it anymore. Like me, when I used to live in Fresno, California, and I worked at a gym, and on weekends, like every Friday, I would get off work. I would have eaten something very small for breakfast, go to work for the whole day, not bring lunch, and then drive back home super hungry and not have anything prepared at home. So now I'm tired, so I don't want to prepare food, and I'm really hungry. So I would stop on Fridays and I would get a whole box of donuts. And these are big donuts. These are like apple fritters because those are the best ones, and bear claws. Not the alcoholic drink, but the donut that's looks like a bear's claw. So I would get a box of those. I would sneak it in the house. I'd make sure no one was downstairs. I'd sneak in the house, go up to my room. I'd open the box. I'd eat 4 or 5 of those big donuts, and then I would get disgusted with myself. And then I would put them in a plastic bag, sneak downstairs, sneak it into the trash bin, and come back into the house because I was way too ashamed of what I had done, right? Or I would stop on during the weekdays either at Little Caesars for the Italian cheesy bread, or 3 cheesy bean burritos at Taco Bell with the addition of potatoes in them. And I would sit there in the parking lot and eat those things. Now, once I started to understand, well, one, when I kept doing those things over and over, it became a habit and a pattern. So even when I wanted to stop doing it, it was so hard to stop doing it. Once I understood what the triggers were, which we'll talk about triggers probably in a later video in depth, and we'll actually do some real stuff with that. Then I was like, oh wow, that means I need to bring some food with me. And this, what I started doing was drinking a protein drink right after work because that means that I wasn't hungry on the drive home. So if I'm not hungry, why am I going to stop somewhere? And if I just ate something, now I'm not hungry for a while, so I don't have to worry about going home, being tired, and making food right away. Wait. So moving along, right? Part of the second part of question number 2 is if you want to change your life, you have to reprogram all of these routines, all these habits at the subconscious level. You can't just think about it, be like, oh, I want to do this. No, you have to reprogram it and not just try harder with willpower. Okay, we'll talk about willpower and energy in a later video. Question number 3. Why do spiritual beliefs often stem from or connect to subconscious processes, right? How's the spiritual involved in this? First thing is that a lot of your beliefs about God, your identity, and your worth are formed early on and stored deep in the subconscious. This is what I mentioned when I talked about being in the womb. When you're inside your mom, the words that your mother or your father said to you or said about you, those things, believe it or not, impacted your subconscious. If they were like, oh man, we don't want to have this baby, or oh man, this is so rough and tough. Oh man, wish we would have had a girl when you were a boy, when you are a boy, then those things get baked into your subconscious, even in the womb, and those affect you for the rest of your life, and in a bad way, unless you are able to reprogram them by understanding the subconscious and doing that. So the second part of question number 3 is your spiritual lens is filtered through these subconscious beliefs, which can either draw you closer to God or hold you back without you even knowing it. So even though we might want to be like a super soldier for Christ, if our subconscious is misaligned with that want, it's going to make us do other things that we don't really want to do. And so we have to do something special here, which you'll find out in question number 4. So question number 4 is, why do subconscious influences on emotions and habits affect one's adherence to Christian values? Okay, the first part of that is, even if you love God, subconscious fears or patterns will lead you into repeated sin because they're driving your behaviors behind the scenes. So this is like when, if you're a man and you're watching pornography and you're jacking off all the time and you're like, why am I doing this? Right? There's something in your subconscious that it's pushing you to do that. So that's why you feel like a slave. That's why you feel like you can't escape it, because there is something that is happening. Now, a lot of people in the church will say, oh man, there's a demon on you, or there's a spirit, not that. We could talk about possession and oppression a whole nother day, okay? This video is about the subconscious. Just because a habit is repeated does not automatically mean there is a demon associated with it. Now, is it possible? Yes. Can I see demons? No, I can't see demons. However, what do I know? I do know that the subconscious is extremely powerful, and that the subconscious is going to continue these repeated patterns, even if you don't want to, until you change your subconscious. So the second part of question 4 is, aligning with Christian values requires a renewed mind. Remember when I said, oh, you're going to figure out how you can do this? Is a renewed mind. Look at Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to the ways of the world. And then it talks about having a renewed mind, right? Which means dealing with these hidden beliefs and habits, not just surface level change, right? This is not surface level town. This is deep, deep trenches. This is going in deep. And so to be renewed, we have to do certain things like reading the word, understanding the word, right? Prayer, meditation, having the knowledge and understanding of how the subconscious works, and then reprogramming it with positive things like the word. Question number 5, why should we explore the interplay, or why should we explore the connection between subconscious elements and conscious beliefs in the context of Christianity? Right? The first part of that is true transformation happens when your heart, which when the Bible talks about heart, we're going to label that as subconscious here, and your mind, which we're going to label as the conscious, are aligned together. So if your subconscious and your conscious are going in opposite directions, well, that's why you're doing the things that you're doing that you don't want to do, but you keep doing them. However, when your subconscious is going this way and your conscious is also going this way, they're going together, now you're going where you want to go. And it's so much easier. It's not super hard. So when that happens, not when you just know the truth, but you actually believe it deep down. And not just that you believe the truth, but you do the truth. When you do the truth, something happens, right? In James, it talks about, be not just hearers of the word, but doers also. When you become a doer, something changes in you, right? The second part of question 5 is exploring this helps you uncover hidden resistance to God's truth. And that's where real healing and growth begins. A lot of the times, and this has happened to me too, where there's something that about God that has been revealed or shown to me, or I've read in the scripture, and I'm resistant to it. I'm like, oh no, God couldn't be that way. Or I just don't want to believe that, right? And so wrestling with these ideas and these beliefs is very, very fruitful in growing your subconscious. So do not be afraid to explore the questions of why God this or why God that. Exploring your faith, exploring your subconscious. Don't be afraid of that. So the call to action that I have for you, because we're nearing the end of this video, is if you want to become a better version of yourself, then comment, I am responsible in the comments. Because it's not your mom's responsibility, it's not your wife's responsibility, it's not your coworker's responsibility, and it's really not God's responsibility for you to change your subconscious. It is up to you to change your subconscious. I am responsible for everything that I do and everything that I say. I am responsible for whatever my subconscious has me do in my conscious mind. Whatever I think, whatever I believe, whatever I say, whatever I do, I am responsible. If you do not take responsibility, you're not really going to get anywhere. Okay, stop with the victim mentality of, oh, it's because the government, or oh, because my mom did this to me as a kid. Stop it. People are successful no matter the circumstances, and people are way more successful than you with way worse issues. So stop being a victim and take responsibility. Oh, and P.S. Right? Remember, you are the one who can make the change. You are more than just a puppet or a robot. You have free will, you have choice. It may seem like you can't control yourself, but you can have self-control, because self-control is a fruit of the Spirit. So pray for it, ask for it, and start exercising self-control. Now, in this video, we just went over sort of a little gaining some knowledge about the subconscious. We're going to do some more videos like this. However, we're going to, in some future videos, we're going to move towards actually introducing some different techniques. So let me show you sort of what's going on with my thought. Is right here. Today we covered these right here. Right, the first question, second, third, fourth, fifth. And then in one of the following videos, maybe not the next, but one of the following ones, we're going to look at some techniques that we can use to reprogram the subconscious, such as prayer, meditation, affirmations, doing different things that are based on biblical principles to actually transform what's going on. So I know this video was just knowledge and attempting to gain a little bit more of an understanding. Okay, in the future videos, we're going to look at some actual techniques and learn how to actually do these things. Okay, that's all I have for now. May the Lord bless you. May peace be with you. And yeah, bye for now.